cancel. Oh, no. Ms. Gates, did you call my name? I'm sorry, I had my volume turned on.
No.
I'm here.
All right. Good afternoon. Welcome to Usher-Collier's Go Team meeting, where we will follow the agenda as it has been emailed to you and publicly noticed. I am pleased to call this meeting to order. Our first order of business is to call roll and review our norms. The secretary will now take the roll.
Good afternoon, everyone. When I call your name, please respond by saying here or present. Jerry Parker.
Present.
Jermaine Choice.
She won't be here.
Jasmine Gaither.
Here.
Dexter Riggins. I know he's here. Okay. Rhonda Dunn. Dr. Benita Simmons.
Present.
Samia Williams.
Here.
Neil Phillips. Neil Phillips. And Richard Dunn.
Here.
Thank you.
All right. This team will only be able to take official action if a quorum is present. Is there a quorum present?
Yes, there is a quorum present.
Thank you.
Ms. Gaither, I just need to double check. Neil Phillips, can you hear me? I don't see your microphone in the corner.
You want me to type in a chat? Maybe he didn't join with audio.
Okay.
Is Mr. Riggins, are you here? Because we have 1, 2, 3.
I am definitely here.
Okay,
ready to go
well,
for
we have a
voting.
quorum present. We'll just,
Okay. Then yes, a quorum is present.
okay, thank you. Our first order of business is to approve the agenda. This was provided to you and copies are here. Are there any changes to the agenda? All right, may I have a motion to approve the agenda?
I motion to approve the agenda.
A second.
Second.
All in favor, please raise your hand. All opposed, please raise your hand. Any abstentions? Please raise your hand. Thank you. If there are no, we will review and approve the meeting minutes from our last meeting. The minutes have been provided to you. Are there any corrections? If there are no further corrections, may I have a motion to approve the previous meeting's minutes?
Motion to approve the previous meeting's minutes.
I
A second.
That motion.
Thank you. All in favor, raise your hand. All opposed, please raise your hand. Any abstentions, please raise your hand. All right, thank you. I see we have some other people who have joined us. Can you please let us know who you are? Miss Waukesha Howe and Sherry, can you please let us know who you are?
Hello, I'm Sherry Belil. I'm a parent of
Okay,
APS.
thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Miss Belil, for joining us. Miss Howe, can you let me know who you are?
I am a parent as well. I'm always on your go team.
Thank you. I just wanted to know. Thank you. All right. So, parents, we are here to now make a move to our next item on the business, which is the budget approval presentation. Principal Parker, please share with us your final budget presentation.
Did Rhonda send it to you?
Yes, hold on.
Okay,
y'all.
can you
Let me
pull it up,
share.
please? Thank you.
Uh-oh. All right, you want to go over this? Well, we know the norms. We've discussed that already. Okay,
All right.
Mr. Parker.
Okay, all right. So if I'm looking off to the right, I've got a couple screens up here. But last meeting, we brought up the strategic plan and asked for if there are any additions or changes to that. We approved that. So after our last meeting, I had the opportunity to do a staffing meeting. And staffing meeting pretty much goes over our current staff and projected vacancies coupled with our actual budget, proposed budget for the 22-23 school year. So if we can go to the next slide, I think it but this was a process that we went through last week, and we talked about the SMART goals and our priorities and how we get to those particular priorities. Next slide. This is a snapshot of our actual, so it's an actual picture of what we actually went through and kind of discussed. There's no questions there. So bring it back up, and we kind of revisited this particular slide a little bit earlier today, but we're just looking at our priorities and our SMART goals, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. But looking at those, we're implementing a school-wide math instructional framework. Looking at the data, we saw that math was one of our weakest areas coming back from the pandemic. And we noted that students is a very hard concept to grapple with when you don't have those concrete or pictorial things to actually work through with math, and kind of very hard to teach over Zoom. So when you're teaching something like that over Zoom, it's hard for the students to grapple with. But we did see tremendous growth, at least at about a 4% increase between our MAP assessments. So we actually are looking at in another 2 weeks or so, we will take our spring MAP, which will be our third assessment of MAP for this particular school year. I had a discussion with Ms. Gaither as well as Ms. Hurt, our assistant principal, on yesterday about doing a fourth administration of MAP for our K through 2 students while we're taking the Georgia milestones for our 3 through 5 students in May. That gives us those data points and the ability to look at growth over this particular school year, because we didn't have this data from last year. And just kind of giving us a benchmark of how we move and what we're looking at for next year. And I know I'm sharing a little bit of information, but we have ARA this summer. It'll be the entire month of June. Our particular area will be held at Harper Archer Elementary School. And ARA is the academic recovery, where we're focusing for a 3-year period on recovering and trying to come back from the harm of the pandemic. It's a 4-week program, pretty much 7.5-hour day, where we'll be focusing on using our intervention programs of iReady, Do the Math, and System 44, iRead. All right, but coupled with that, as you're looking at the slide that's up on the screen, increasing the percentage of students who are scoring at proficient or above. That's always our goal. We want to get to absolute mastery, but we lend ourselves of accepting our children where they are and figuring out their needs and moving the actual needle. That's usually where we score our points for CCRPI, is the growth of our students as we get them. And the last one here is ongoing lesson internalization with a focus on STEM and rigorous instructional tasks. that's just making sure that we're incorporating science, technology, engineering, and math. And I would like to give a shout out to those Dr. Simmons on the line with us. We've been doing some things with careers this week. So we've had a great number of volunteers and community members to come in to speak with the children just about fascinating and exciting careers in which gives our students options and the ability to actually dream, and know some things that they are. Because if you ask our students, what is it that you would like to do? And the sooner that they know what they would like to do, the sooner they can concentrate on it. And we say things like, I like to be a doctor, I like to be a lawyer, or a teacher. Those are admirable things, but there are millions of other careers that our students haven't been exposed to. And hopefully through this, it'll be like, wow, I never thought of it. There are, so many jobs, and I know I have a senior myself, and everything that we're looking at, they are the jobs or the career pathways have a lot to do with science and technology and engineering, and just pathways of making money. All right, if you go to the next slide for me. This speaks a little bit more to the rationale around the priorities in which we've set. Just small group instruction, we found out that the ratio for teacher to student, you're able to reach those students, and the ability to see, the gaps or the places that they may struggle because you are in a 3-to-1, 4-to-1 situation where that student is not able to just fold back into the crowd. And it's repetition, and it's we've done a good job of like doing 2-to-1 for our interventions, and we're also been working on mini lessons. Mini lessons are the teachers teaching a very short burst of a lesson, but it also gives the student a longer time to engage with the lesson and to continue there. Close the academic achievement gaps through the proficiency levels. Like I said, we're trying to move our students from beginning and developing over to proficient and distinguished. We have the implementation of our SEL, and my fervent prayer is that through SEL, we teach our children to communicate their feelings, and the better they're able to articulate those things, the less that we have conflict, because you're able to express yourself and how you feel or how someone or something made you feel without it being confrontation. All right, next. Okay, so here is the crux of the matter. Just kind of talking through the budget in which we proposed and kind of walked through. We are roughly going in with $5.8 million into the next school year. Looks like a lot of money, but it's mostly in human capital and human resources, much less than we have had before. But we feel like, it's the people and not the programs that move students. So we're trying to make sure we do have an addition of a music teacher for this upcoming year. We put that in the budget. Outside of that, not a whole lot changed, but we are projected to be down roughly about, I think it was, I'll pull back up my notes, but we have something called a demographer. And a demographer is a person who studies the trends of a community. And so they project how many students we will have for the next school year. I think it showed us down about 20 students or so, if I'm not mistaken. But the thing is, we gained a couple dollars, but the reason we gained because the average salary of the employees went up over COVID about $4,000. So it wasn't money that we really are gaining into the school. It's gained within salaries. All right, here we go. It's pretty much how it breaks down. if you like to take it's -12 and not 20. So we're projected to have 377 students, where we usually hover around 412, 415. But remember, if you're looking at this piece up here, this is not inclusive of pre-K, but we also don't get the dollars for pre-K. They go through the pre-K department. This is strictly K through 5. All right. So the next piece here, you see where it says signature. Of course, our signature program is STEM, and we were able to be STEM certified through Cognia this year. So that was a very hard fought battle, and we were happy to receive that crown of the director of Dr. Benita Simmons. Where you see the negative next to holdback, that's monies that are set aside that if we do reach that threshold of the 377, that we'll be able to receive that money. But the great part of this is all projections. So for every student that we get above the 377, we'll receive back roughly about $4,800. That's the per pupil allocation. So, and my thing is, over the time that I have been here, the projections have always been wrong and low, and we always open up above what they project us to. So we try to make sure that we are the first choice of our community to bring their best and their brightest here to Usher-Collier. Family gave a couple dollars. All right. So here, these are the different, as we call them, our expenditure funds. So our fund 100, fund 1,000, 2,100, and so some financial jargon. But for the most part, we've put a couple dollars to the side for materials and supplies, media services, administrative pieces there. Transportation, we didn't put much or anything there. We will move that over. I also have money for maintenance and operation. This is how the pie breaks down. So those things that you saw, these give you the broad categories. And so for the most part, majority of the money is spent in instruction. The next largest piece of the pie is school administration, and then next you have pupil services. All right, the CARES funds are, we received roughly about $200,000 there. CARES funds are funds that have been out through the federal government over this pandemic time. So we did receive CARES last year. We were hopeful that we would get them for this next coming school year, and it did come through. So we will be, I think, on CARES 3. All right, these are things that you can spend under the CARES budget: technology support, mental and physical health. So we do spend money on wraparound services. Wraparound services are those outside services that kind of speak to the whole child. When I say the whole child, just a piece of that SEL and things that we can do for our families. Professional development is like training for the teachers and at-risk populations, so things that directly affect our students. All right. All right, so what's next? Our next piece, let me see. I've had my one-on-one with my associate superintendent at my mid-year. I've gone through the HR staffing piece, so we're looking into March now is the final Go Team approval. And we probably, I think that is today, but it's after my staffing conference has taken place. I see it as by March 18th. So, all right. Any questions, comments, or criticisms?
Yay, music program. Yay.
All right, so thank you, Principal Parker, for sharing this information. I will now entertain a motion to approve the budget.
Motion to approve the budget.
A second,
Second.
all in favor, please raise your hand. All opposed, please raise your hand. Any abstentions, please raise your hand. Thank you. We will now move to the information items first, the principal's report.
I think I tried to have those conversations as we were going along. Also, kudos to we went down the STEM brick road just last Friday. I talked about college and career this week. So those are many of the highlights. I spoke about upcoming Georgia milestones as well as upcoming MAP. So those were the things that kind of are at my forefront right now. Oh, parents, if you have not, and I'll get Ms. Gaither to send it out to you guys, the Georgia's health survey for parents. If you have not had an opportunity to fill that out, your feedback will be greatly appreciated. That is it for me.
Yes, if you can put your email address in the chat, I'll email it to you, parents. Okay, thank you, Principal Parker. We will now hear about additional information items. We remind all non-APS staff, Go Team members to reset your APS email password if you have not done so in the last 60 days. Does anyone have any additional announcements? Oh, I do want to say MAP testing will take place, parents, next week, beginning next week. We will start on March the 7th. We'll do practice testing on March 7th. We'll take the reading growth on March the 8th, that's Tuesday. And we'll have the math growth administered on Wednesday. Okay. Also, parents, if you are interested in declaring, declarations for Go Team elections are still probably open. We need at least 2 parent candidates and 2 non-supervisory instructional staff candidates. If you are interested and or know anyone else who would be a good fit for our team, please direct them to apsstrongschools.com to declare their candidacy. If you have any questions, contact the Go Team office. Thank you. We have reached the end of our agenda. Is there any additional business at this time? May I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Motion to adjourn the meeting.
A second? All right. All in favor, please raise your hand. All opposed, please raise your hand. Any abstentions, please raise your hand. Meeting is adjourned. Happy Wednesday. Thank you for coming.
Thank everybody for participating. Thank you.